to the Sifra de Tzniuta, and I have us marked on page Shin Ayin Zayin, where it says, Sham Nisboyer Od Kavonas Anachas Tefillin Hete B'Yosu Seis. He's going to go into more detail. I'm going to repeat some of what he said previously. Od Nisboyer Kavonach and Niskaris B'Yosu Seis, and let's explain this in more detail. Gavar Biarno, so he says we've already explained the ale of the Drushot Tzitzis. Inyan Arba Mitzvahs Hasei Hamramazim Ba'arba Osias Havaya. So that we had said previously that there are 4 mitzvos of positive commandments that are associated with each one with one of the letters of the Yud Kei Vav Kei V'Heim Kriya Shema, and then he tells us what it is. V'Tefillin, V'Tzitzis, and Tefillah. So Kriya Shema, Tefillin, our subject is Tefillin, V'Tzitzis, and Tefillah. Each one of them represents one of the 4 letters. V'Kavonas Kol Echad Mechem Tizboyer B'Makomo Gam Kein Be'ezet Hashem. So each one of them will be explained in its place. Each one according with God's help. Let's just look at number Taf Kuf Zayin. He says in the light print, "Va'antem mevoyer harav es hayichud the tefillin and nizker kan." Now, we want to get into the concept of the yichud that takes place in tefillin. I had a couple of questions that I wanted to ask you. The way that the Rav described wrapping the finger, the middle finger, just as a question I had from before, where he says he presses you 1 on the top and 2 on the bottom. That's not the way that I was doing it. So I don't know. Huh? That's how you do it.
First 1 on the bottom, then 1, not really the top, the middle, and then the bottom again.
So you said, what'd you say? Say it again, one more time.
1 on the bottom, and then you go up to the middle, and then back down to the bottom.
He didn't say it that way. He said the first one's on the top.
Let me see. What page?
I don't know. That's a question from way back then. It's Azchar Shalom B'Chotzir Tefillin.
Yeah.
Inyani Seder. Here's my. It's hard to go backwards.
Yeah, he says that the upper one. He doesn't say it's first. He just says the upper one is going to be in the middle joint, the middle section, and 2 other ones on the bottom. He doesn't say that's the word. He didn't say first.
Where are you looking? I didn't find it yet. Where are you looking?
Shin Ayin Daled.
Shin Ayin Daled.
Yeah.
Shin Ayin Gimel. Shin Ayin Daled. He says Gufa Shekosha Vazroa. Is that it? Shin Ayin Daled. Oh, you're a different place. Shin Ayin Daled. Okay, there's more than one. Okay, and which number on Shin Ayin Daled? You know?
Well, where he talks about here, Shin Tzadichet, that area.
Shin Tzadiches. Okay, he says Shin Tzadiches. He says V'chachricha el yoinu tachas. Okay, so up above that. But tzorch lechro sham shlosh krichos. V'chakricha el yoinu tihya beperik emsoy. Now, I thought that was an order. So I look at the tip just for a second after this. Emsoy shall etzba. So the first one should be on the middle knuckle.
He never says the first one. He just says the top one.
The top one. V'shtei chrichos tachtonis beperik atachton bechuber el kaf hayad. Okay, so let's just see if I got any help from what I said here. So over be'etzba emsoy is a nikra ama. Yesh lekroch savivo shlosha krichos. V'ofen shachricha el yoina tzricha lehi'aso al haperik emsoy shala etzba. So I assume, okay, my assumption was that since he said that first, that's the first thing you do. Tzricha le'asos al haperik emsoy shala etzba. Okay, so then the other 2 are going to be down below. So you're saying what? What are you saying?
The way I do it, as I've learned to do it, is first 1 on the bottom, then you go up to the middle, then go back to the bottom.
Okay.
So you have 1 on top, 2 on the bottom.
Okay. Fine. I don't remember if that's what I used to do. So let's find out what we're going to do now. Now where were we now? We were just starting I had another question too. It might pop up. Let's see, where were we? Gosh, so we, Hativ B'Yosef says, okay, so we read the Rav and we started reading on, what would be number Kuf Zayin. Oh, there it is. He says, so, V'atach Adevaya Rav, Es HaYichud the Tefillin B'Nizkar Kan B'Bir Yosef Meforat. So here he's talking about, remember he talked about covering over your tefillin with your talis. I'm not sure that we really got a reason for that, but it's because of tznius, he said. So which to me is, I said at the time that I thought that is mashma of a yichud there. Sheyesh arba mitzvos asay shehem beguvonos keneged arba osios shel shem avaya v'sidran melamala lamata hem kach. For the first one is as a kriya shema hu keneged os yud shel shem avaya v'tefillim hem keneged os hey rishona shel shem avaya v'tzitzis he keneged os vav shel shem avaya v'tefilo hu keneged os hey achrona shel tefila. Tefila is like lashon nuk, so I guess it goes with the final hey. Now let me see what else we have here. So then moving on in the Sidron, then he says Sidron, V'seder haYechudim v'chagubono shall call echa mechem yizboyer call echa b'bekom b'kriya shema b'tefila b'mida. So these Yechudim are all in relationship to the Yud Kei Vav Kei, are all mentioned in their places. Chutz mima shekasad shekavar bir harav as kavanos a Yehuda b'Drushot Tzitit. So then a lot of that was put out already in the Drushot Tzitit. Now we go to number Tov Lamed Aleph, and he's really going to start talking about some of this. And he's been nevoyer ada gavanos at tefillin. He said tefillin shel yad. So first. Yeah, so, excuse me, before I go in, that was the other question. The other one was yesterday, he said that first you put on the tefillin in the arm and you establish them on your arm. I would get into this a little bit more. And then he says, then you could reveal or take out the head tefillin from the pouch. Now, I don't know if this is the ma'akev, he wants to say this is how you do it. And then you continue making the straps or tying the straps on the windings, of the tefillin. Now, no answer was given exactly why that would be, why it should be like that. I guess it means that, to me, it means that the nook by herself, establish the nook in its place, and then you could show the male aspect. I'm not sure what his reasons is, or maybe something similar to that. Anyway, so he says, here's what he says. I don't know if you would do this. For Nevar Ata Gavanas Tefillin, Hine Tanich Tehila Tefillim Shal Yad Meyushav. You should be sitting down below Ma'uman, not standing, which is the difference between, the Sephardim and the Ashkenaz. Because Shedibarach HaBracha, so you make the bracha, the Kavin Lachaber Shtei Osias Yak. So this, you haven't made a bracha yet. So I'm assuming that what he means is that you're still holding where you just now revealed the head tefillin from out of the pouch. Then you start the wrapping, and as you're going to start that, you're going to make a bracha here. So what you should have this kavanah when you make the bracha. He said, let me read his word. Tikavin lachaver shtei osias yak v'kodem shetabarach bracha. This is before the bracha. Sorry. Shehu sod his orders abba ve'ima his daveg yachad. So this concept here of yak is now you're thinking of putting the yud and the k together, and that's the beginning yichud. You haven't started the wrapping yet. Kedei lahamshech mochim el zun, and the idea is to bring the mochin into zun. Kedei shemehem yavo hatefilin kenoida, because it's from the entrance of that, and we had some discussion about whether it refers to the Rishimo, the leftover from Abba yesterday, or if it maybe it just means just from the beginning. We'll see if we have anything to say about that. Kadesha mehem yavola tefillin kanoida, so that the tefillin should develop out of the entrance of Abba Ve'ima. So first you have to prime them, I guess. So after they're primed and you have this kavana as you're holding it on your arm, then you say v'achar kach tekaben la'alos he tata im os havav. So now you're the concept of which is like ma'im nukvin, to bring go from the bottom to the top. So originally you combine the top, that's the first kavana, and the next one is to bring the hay up and combine it with the vav, el hay rishona, and you're bringing the two of them to the hay rishona. Besod ha'alos man. So this is the ma'im nukvin. This is actually the beginning of the process of bringing the shefa. V'achar kach tekaben lahorid hay rishona. So then you have the idea, you reverse it, and the idea of the hay rishona now will come down el shtei osias of vav and k. Shehu sod knesses hamochim al yedei b'nai de'ima. So this is the secret of the mochi now coming into the nayavima. So what you did, let's see, you made a yichud of the yud and k. You brought the vav and k, which makes it sound like they're in a yichud, and they move up to the k, and then the k becomes back. Knesses hamochin, and this represents the mayim nukvin, which is drawing down the mochin, and the mochin come back down al yedei nai the ima yilah beresha the zun, and all that comes into the head of zun. So he said, v'achar kach, now this is all the kavanah that you have before you start binding the tefillin. Tikshor tefillin, you should tie the tefillin. Yizbarach v'tibarach aleichem, and make the bracha. So this kavanah of yud k, then vav k, then k vav k, is that's kavanah before you make a bracha. This is the secret of the Avaya that we're talking about, yak, and he shows it to us. First it's yud k, then it's the hey vav going to the k, and then it's the hey vav, I think he said the same thing twice, the hey vav going to the k, and then the hey vav, I don't know, k, all in one combination. I sort of thought it should have been, I'm reading it wrong. So it says it's the K Vav going to the K, and then it's the concept of the first K here represents Bina, and then the second one, the Vav, represents Vav and K. So that's how that would be. So just going up, going down. Okay, we're running out of time, so let's try to get to I think we ran out of time. It's getting earlier and earlier every day, and this is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Call Out.